lose my mind. Waking when the
Hi, are you ready for our lesson? So today I will discuss to you about positive interaction. So before that, I have here the introduction. Before proceeding to the topic, as you know, there are no organisms under natural condition is divorced from all other living things. This means that organisms has to live with the other organisms or has to interact with the other organisms to survive. Species interact with each other in one way or the other. They have many ways in interacting and they have reasons for them to interact. Mainly it is for survival. We have here the interspecific interactions. It is the associations or aggregations. It is a bigger scale. However, we also have here the interspecific interactions, which we have the positive interaction and negative interaction. It is for the smaller scale. Let us just discuss and focus on positive interaction. What is it? When the interactions result in a benefit for one or both of the species and harm to neither, that is positive interaction. If one of them benefit and the other may benefit as well, however, both does not harm each other or one of them does not harm each other, as long as no one is harmed. It is a result in better growth, reproduction, and survival. Of course, these species are interacting for growth and reproduction and survival. Not static, and they vary in their strength and symmetry. So we have here the types of interactions, the positive interactions. First, we have commensalism. What is commensalism? Later on, we will discuss the other types. Actually, we have three: commensalism, proto-cooperation, and mutualism. Commensalism is an association of two or more species associated for activities such as food. It is mainly associated by food. It is the main reason of these organisms to interact with the other organisms, the food. And one species at least derives benefit from the association, while the other species are neither benefited nor harmed. It can be that one species is benefiting to that other species, while the other species does not benefit from it, or as well as it was not harmed. That is commensalism. So in commensalism, we have two factors, the commensal and the host. When we say commensal, these are the species that benefits from the association. It obtains the nutrients, the shelter, support from the host. So the host there is the one that gives benefits. The host species which is substantially unaffected, and the host is not affected or unaffected. Often between a large host and a smaller commensal. As you can see, the host is always bigger than the commensal. Like example, for we have also, and depending on the scale or the size of the host in the commensal, we have the ectocommensal. These are epizooid animals associated with other animals for the purpose of encourage and protection. When we say ectocommensal, this is the interaction between two organisms, that one organism is interacting on certain animal or certain organism for it to gain protection, for it to incur a protection. Example, the whales and the barnacles. So we have, if the whales and between the whales and barnacles, the host there is the whale because it is bigger, and the commensal is the barnacles. Then we have also the endocommensal. When the commensalism is internal, endo if it is inside our body or inside the body of certain organism, like the harmless protozoans in the intestinal tract of humans. All of us humans have these protozoans inside our body. However, it does not harm us. We are the host of these protozoans, and the protozoans are the commensal. More examples. Again, the whales and the barnacles. Have you seen a whale and the barnacle? Only in movies. So when the barnacles during their final larval stage attach to the skin of the whale. So when these barnacles is at their larval stage, they have to attach themselves on the skin of the whale. Later on, they secrete a hard calcareous layer, thus fixing them into the skin of the whale. So what makes them attach on the skin of the whale? It is they secrete a hard calcareous layer. Then they have two benefits from attaching themselves on that whale. They gain food and as well as protection from predators. For them, it is good to attach themselves on that host, which is the whale, because they believe that it can help them to survive and protect them from the other predators. Second example, we have the remora fish and shark. Have you seen a remora fish? And also shark? If you have already seen remora fish, you can observe that it is attaching themselves on the shark's body. Remora fish attach to the bellies of shark by means of a dorsal fin highly modified to form a sucker. What makes them attached to the bellies of the shark? It is the dorsal fin. So it forms as a sucker. It sucks the skin of the shark for them to attach on that belly. It gives them a free ride when the host moves about. So this means that while the host is moving, the shark is moving, getting for their food, this remora fish as well moves about. And food scraps of the shark are swept up by the remora. As the shark eats its prey, the remora fish as well was able to get that food, the shark was able to give them the food and helps them to survive in that area. The third example, we have the pseudoscorpions and insects. Have you seen a pseudoscorpions? Insects. Okay. Some species of pseudoscorpions hide themselves under the wing covers of large insects like beetles. So the insect here is the beetle. And under the wing cover of that beetle, it has pseudoscorpions. Actually, it's so small that it can really hide on the wings of that insect. This gives them protection from their predators and also provides them a means of transportation over a larger area. So as the beetle moves to another plant to other plant, the pseudoscorpions was also transported to other places. Because of its small size and lack of sting, it does not harm the beetle in any way. Again, commensalism, the other one benefits and the host is not harmed. That's it. The same with the beetle and the pseudoscorpion. The pseudoscorpion does not harm the beetle, but and the insect gives transportation and protection from the predators for that pseudoscorpions. We have the last example, the hermit crab living in the gastropod shell. Actually, we have more examples. However, we will just discuss few. Have you seen a hermit crab living in the gastropod shell? Have you seen a gastropod shell? Gastro, gastropod shell is where the hermit crab lives. It moves around with that gastropod shell. It is like a turtle, right? A turtle has a house and moves around with his house. However, here it is the crab. So why is it that the crab lives in that gastropod shell? As you can see, that shell is hard and it keeps the hermit crab being protected from the other predators as well. We have here the types of commensalism. First, the chemical commensalism. It is often between two species of bacteria. If it is between two species of bacteria, that is called chemical commensalism. Chemical. Inquilism. One species using the body or body cavity of another organism, like whale and the barnacle. It is called inquilism if one organism or the commensal is using the host, the body of the host for protection. That's it. Like the whale and the barnacle, right? Then the third type, we have the metabiosis. One species unintentionally creates a home for another species through one of its normal life activities. Example, the hermit crab in gastropod shells. The hermit crab unintentionally creates a home on the gastropod shell. And it does not hurt or it does not harm the animal inside that gastropod shell. It just keeps living in that area. Then, the phorecy. When one organism attaches to the other for gaining transportation. So we have phorecy if that certain, it is called phorecy if that certain commensal is gaining benefits of transportation, like the mites on insects or the pseudoscorpions on that beetle. Okay. Question? Now we are done with the commensalism. Again, commensalism is if one animal benefits and it does not harm its host. The commensal benefits and the host is unaffected. That is commensalism. Let us proceed to proto-cooperation. From the word itself, cooperation, what can you say about it? Okay, the same with the group activities. Students have to cooperate with each other to make their performance or the outputs perfect or make their outputs nice and a job well done output. So, what is proto-cooperation? The same with that. Idea, interaction clearly beneficial to both species. So, both of the species are benefiting from that certain cooperation they have. However, not obligatory for either species. So the same with the group activities we usually have in the classroom. It is not obligatory, but if you do good or if both of you cooperate, you will clearly benefit from that. Is for growth and survival is possible in the absence of the interaction. So although you don't cooperate with that other species, you can still grow and you can still survive. That is proto-cooperation. Okay, we have here the examples, the ants and aphids, the red-billed oxpecker and impala, the water moccasin and large birds. First, the red-billed oxpecker and impala. Have you seen a red-billed oxpecker? How about an impala? So, just look at the picture. The red-billed oxpecker there is the bird, and that impala is like that goat or the deer. It's not a deer, but it's called impala. This bird eats mainly ticks, but may also eat blood-sucking flies, fleas, and lice of the impala. Oh, most animals have these flies, fleas, and lice. Flies, fleas, and lice. And the bird helps this animal, this impala, to get rid of those parasites that harm it. The oxpecker benefits from it because it is getting food. So while that bird gets the parasites, it is as well the food of that bird. But this association is not obligatory for both. They can still live, they can still grow without the bird getting the parasites and the impala, and this impala can still grow or can still survive if the parasites is not get by the oxpecker or the bird. But they just cooperate because it is for their benefits. Second example, the ants and the aphids. The ant searches for food on trees and shrubs, which are hosts to the honeydew-secreting aphids. As you can see, ants really gets their food on the plants as well as on our foods leftovers. But these ants is usually getting their food on the trees and the shrubs of the plants. And we also have here the honeydew secreting aphids. As the aphids is getting as well living on that certain plant and secretes the honeydew on that plant, the ants gets its food. Some species of ants farm the aphids, stimulate them to secrete honeydew, and also protect them. It is said once the aphid is giving is secreting the honey, the ants are also getting that honeydew secretes from the aphids. The honeydew secreted by the aphids are used as food by plants, and that honeydew is the food of the ants. The ants is giving protection for the aphids, while the aphids are giving honeydews as food for the ants. Both are benefiting with each other. However, they can still survive even if the aphids is not giving honeydews to the ants and the aphids is not protected by the ants. Second, the water moccasin and large birds. Heron. What is a water moccasin? This is scary because water moccasin is a snake. And large birds. However, these large birds are like the heron. Have you seen a heron? It is like an eagle. These birds nest in the lower branches of trees while the water moccasin congregate around the bases. So while the birds nest on the branch of trees, that water moccasin or snake congregate around the base. So it just lives on or under the tree or under the nest, branch of the nest or the branch of the trees that the bird is nesting. This protects the bird from the tree climbing predators such as raccoons. Raccoons are afraid of this water moccasin. That's why the raccoons will not able to climb the tree as the bird is its prey. Okay, the snake feed in turn is dropped by the birds. So in turn, the birds provides food. However, it is not obligatory. If there are leftovers, probably from the food of those birds, it will be given to the snake. Mutualism. So we are done with proto-cooperation. Okay, let us have a review. When we say proto-cooperation, it is the cooperation of both animals and are benefiting with each other. However, it is not obligatory because they can still survive and they can still grow without each other. Lastly, we have the mutualism. Mutual relationship. obligatory interaction that is strongly beneficial to both species. The same with the certain relationships we have these days between a man and woman. It is an obligatory interaction which both of you has to benefit. So both of you has to do for yourselves. Two organisms of different species associate and each individual benefits from the other. Remember that mutualism, both of you benefits. Okay. Have example. The lichen is a mutualistic association between a species of algae and a species of fungus. Have you seen a lichen fungus? Okay. Then, mycorrhizal association. Bacteria in the intestine of herbivorous birds and mammals. Mutualism in trichonympha in the gut of termites, spider crab, and algae. Let us first discuss the first example, which is lichen. You can see in the picture. You can see there, it is like a plant. Lichen, a mutualistic association between a species of algae, cyanobacteria, and a species of fungus. So, the species of fungus and cyanobacteria or algae. We have there two, the fungus and the algae. The algae benefits and the fungus as well benefits from the algae. For the benefits of the fungus, the algae or the cyanobacteria produce food by photosynthesis, while the algae benefits from that fungus by being protected from the environment by the filaments of the fungus, which also gather moisture and nutrients from the environment and usually provide an anchor to it. The fungus benefits because the algae provides food by photosynthesis, and the algae benefits or the cyanobacteria benefits because the fungus provides them moisture and nutrients from the environment, and it gives them protection. It provides protection from the environment. Second, we have the trichonympha in the gut of termites. Trichonympha. Have you seen a trichonympha? It is these small animals, or it's not small organism that is living inside the termites. Although termites are insects that eat wood, termites are not capable of digesting wood on their own. The food of these termites are wood, and they are not able to digest it without this trichonympha. How come the trichonympha helps the termites? Of course, it provides enzymes that converts the cellulose in the wood into starches and sugars that the termite can use as nutrients. The termites has to eat food for the trichonympha, and the trichonympha has to convert this cellulose wood into starches and sugar. In exchange, these organisms benefit from a continuous supply of energy-rich cellulose and a suitable environment in which to live. The termites was able to survive because their food is digested by the trichonympha, and the trichonympha was able to survive because the termites helping them to live on the internal body of that termites and continuously gives them a energy-rich cellulose. So here you can see in the picture, and inside of that termites, how can you imagine such a small thing can eat wood? It is because of the trichonympha inside their body. So both has to work for them to survive, because if the trichonifia won't digest that food, then what will happen to them as well? They will not be given an energy rich cellulose, and they will die. The spider crab and the algae. Spider crabs live in shallow areas of ocean floor, and greenish brown algae lives on crabs' backs, making the crabs blend in with their environment and unnoticeable to predators. The algae gets a good place to live, and the crab gets camouflage. Both are benefiting and has to work with each other, because if this crab or the algae won't live on the back of crab, the crab won't have a camouflage and will not be able to protect themselves from the predators. And that algae was able to live because it is on the back of the crab. One has to do their job for them to survive. That is mutualism. So let us have a review. So we have the three types of positive interaction. First, we have what is that? Okay, that is commensalism. Second, proto-cooperation. Then, mutualism. What can we say about commensalism? Okay, commensalism, it is when two organisms or species interact with each other and one benefits, which is the commensal, and the host is not affected for a time. However, it does not benefit on the commensal. Second, which is the proto-cooperation, which both of them benefit, however, it is not obligatory. While lastly, the mutualism, both of them benefit and it is obligatory. It is for them to survive. That's it for today. I hope you got it all.
Catching feelings for you, gotta let you know that I'm catching feelings for you, yeah.